Devotion means dedicating everything you possess, giving up all you have, and becoming one before whom or before what you devote yourself. When devotion is complete, you shall obtain everything. Thus you have to first empty out everything if you want to acquire the spiritual treasure. When the jug is empty, it can be filled again to its brim with one liquid. If your mind, your thoughts are already full, then I cannot write anything new on it, and my whole discourse shall go in vain. Only when you bring a plain, empty sheet of paper shall you be able to read the lines which I shall inscribe on it. If already it is filled with lies, deceit, immorality, then what can I write on it? Where shall I write? You say to your Guru, I have given up all I possess to you and am now empty. I am sitting in your feet, and it is up to you to give whatever shape or form to my life according to your wish. Till now I have lived life as I wished. Now you teach me how to live. You tell me what to do and how to do. I shall do whatever you ask me to. This is devotion. When you become devoted, then your position, your fame, all become insignificant. Then even if you are a millionaire, it would have no significance. Devotion means that you are nothing. It won't do if you say that you are devoted and then feel proud that you are an officer or you are such a great scholar. This is not devotion. Devotion means you are nothing at all, that you are empty, that you have no position, no fame, no money, no power, no wealth, and nothing. Whatever you do have in material terms is at your home. Here in the feet of the Guru, you are fully devoted. And when a person reaches this stage, he becomes a true disciple. He is not a disciple from the beginning. First, he is just a curious person, then he becomes enlightened, and after adopting the three principles, service, sacrifice, and devotion, he becomes a disciple. Disciple in Sanskrit is Shishya, and it means to come closer. The disciple always comes closer to the Guru. This does not mean that he should go and embrace the Guru. This is not what I mean by coming closer. About 4 to 5 years back, when I was returning from Gangotri, there was this disciple who made very good arrangements for the 200 disciples who were with me. He arranged for their stay and their food. I promised to visit his house in Hyderabad. When I reached Hyderabad, he had hired a musical band and was feeling very happy. He had arranged for us to stay in a guest house, and on the gate of the place he stood with a plate containing a dozen lighted earthen lamps for Arati. When I reached the gate, he started the Arati. I stood there with my wife and some other disciples as he performed the ceremony. While performing the Arati, he came closer and closer, and soon the flames from the dozen lamps were hardly an inch or two from my face. I turned my face, and he came even closer. I strained my neck backwards to its limits. Still the intense heat reached me. I hesitated to say anything to him, as all his relatives, friends stood nearby. I thought, if I say something, he will feel hurt, and if I don't, my brows and hair will burn. I moved a step backward, and he moved still closer. O Gurudev, thou art an ocean of kindness. He sang as he performed the arati, and I said to myself that soon this ocean of kindness shall end up on a bed in some hospital. I extended my hand to stop the arati, but he said, Guruji, it is rarely that we get a chance. You hardly come to visit us. I said to myself, you have got a chance and I am stuck up. This does not mean that you send me straight to a hospital. To him I said, perform arati from a distance. He said, Guruji, such occasions do not present themselves again and again. Today we have at last got a chance. And speaking these words, he came still closer to me. The intense heat almost scorched my face, and it seemed as if ages had passed when the arati finally concluded. Till then, my face had become red like a hot iron. My poor wife became overtly anxious at my sorry state. She kept looking at me and with inquiring eyes, as if saying, what is all this? I said to her, what can I do? Today I am caught up amongst my disciples. I have always been kind to them. Now it is up to them whether they shower me with their kindness or not. Shishya does not mean that you come and ram into me and then say that I had asked you to come closer. Believe me, for coming closer, it's not necessary for you to break my bones. Coming close means becoming one with my soul, forming a bond with my soul and with my heart. When the disciple reaches the third stage, he comes closer to the Guru. Coming closer means that even his thoughts are not his own. In this state, there remains no questions in his mind. Then he does not even think whether the Guru is an ordinary man of flesh and blood or he is a god. He only thinks that he is his Guru and his Guru is everything for him. When his thinking transforms in this manner and when he touches the feet of the Guru, he realizes divinity in those holy feet. When this happens, his eyes fill up with tears of joy, and thus the disciple learns how to devote himself fully. When he becomes fully devoted, he obtains everything from the Guru. In this relation of Guru and disciple, there is no give and take. Establishing yourself in the soul of the Guru means getting closer to him so that your soul and his soul fuse to become one, and even your physical form becomes one with that of the Guru. All the time, only one thought should remain in your mind, and that is how to make the Guru happy, because then the body of the Guru becomes your own. And if a thorn pricks the feet of your Guru, you feel the pain, you feel restless. You shall not be in distress, but shall still experience restlessness. Then you shall know that something is wrong. This shall happen only when your soul fuses with mine and becomes one with it. They shall become one when you become a disciple, when you devote yourself. आकियन की कर कोटरी पुतली पलंग बिछाए, पलकन की चिक डार के पियू को लिया रिंजाए. These lines were spoken by Meera, and she says, Akiyan ki kar kotari, that is, I want to make a room of my eyes. Putali palang bichai, I want to make a bed of the pupils in my eyes. Palkan ki chik darke, with the image of my beloved in my eyes, I shall close the curtain of my eyelids. Piyu ko liya rinjai, and thus I shall win over my beloved. She further says, Na main dekhu aur ko, that is, then I shall look at no other man. Na to hai dekan dehu, and neither shall I let you see anyone else when I shall have confined you within my eyes. This is the state of complete devotion, and on reaching this stage, Kabir says, Main tumhari bahuriya hoon. That is, I am your beloved. And this is why the Shishyopanishad says that Guru and disciple are like two lovers, because the most close relation in this world is between two lovers, and such closeness is not seen even in the relation between a parent and a child, or between a brother and a sister. This is because in this relation there is always something new and fresh. There is a deep longing to meet again and again. Both remain restless to be together. If the girl fails to turn up one day, the boy feels uneasy and worries lest she is unwell. Or maybe he thinks her parents have stopped her from coming to him and he starts abusing them. He remembers that she had promised to meet him in Connaught Place. He looks at his wristwatch and realizes that there are still 5 minutes left. Perhaps she will come, he thinks. 2 hours pass and he still keeps waiting. It cannot be her fault, he says to himself. It is her father who is so mean. He decides to go to her house. What if her father sees me, he thinks. Still gathering some courage, he reaches her place and keeps standing some distance from her house in the hope that she would appear in the window or the terrace. She won't appear, and all night he shall remain perturbed. He cannot even ring her up because each time he gives a call, her mother picks up the phone. Why doesn't this old woman die? He says to himself. The whole night is spent waking without a moment's mental peace because this is the relation of two lovers and not a husband and wife. If you say to your wife that you don't wish to have food, instead of asking you if you are well or not, she won't even care and shall say, Fine then, you can eat tomorrow. As lovers, you may have loved her deeply, and your sweet affair may have lasted 2 years. But as soon as you got married, all the enthusiasm and love seemed to have vanished forever. You won't even feel like talking to her and shall start looking for another girlfriend. You shall think that now she is your wife, thus she shall remain forever. So there is nothing to worry about her. She shall ask you why you came late from office. You shall reply that you work in an office and that you are not her servant to arrive exactly at 5 o'clock. This is the same girl you loved so dearly. She will say that she has not had food since the previous evening and you shall not care at all. You shall ask her to better go to the doctor and then you shall not give another thought to her illness. This is because the mutual attraction has vanished. No such love exists between a husband and a wife. This is why it's always said that the deepest love is between two lovers. The same close bond must exist between a guru and a disciple, between a devotee and God. If one of the two has promised to meet at 3 o'clock and does not turn up, then the other should feel uneasy, worried, and impatient. It was about 7 to 8 years back that I was sitting in my house at Jodhpur. It was midsummer and very hot. A young man about 23 to 24 years old from Hapur came to meet me. He was handsome and well dressed. He came to me and said, "May I sit down?" I asked him to do so. He sat down on a chair and took out a photograph from his pocket. He said to me, "I want to say something." "Be quick," I said. "It is already 12 in the noon and it would be better if you come back at 4 in the evening." "No, please, Guruji. It shall take only a few minutes." And saying these words, he again took out the photograph, looked at it, and placed it back in his pocket. I said to myself, what is he trying to do? He seems to be from a well-to-do family. But why is he acting so strangely? Just as God appears in several forms before common folks, similarly, in my life, disciples have turned up in different varied guises. In your life, there may be only one God, the Guru. But in my life, I have seen so many epithets of him in the form of my disciples. I asked him, "Are you a Christian?" "No, Guruji," he said, "I am a Hindu." "Well, fine, you are a Hindu. But what do you want to say to me?" "Guruji, just 1 second," he said, and again took out the photograph, looked at it, and replaced it. "Have you escaped from a mental asylum in Shadara?" "Where are you from?" I asked him. "I live in Hapur, Guruji." "But there is no mental asylum in Hapur. There are asylums in Agra and Shadara. Then how come you are from Hapur?" "Guruji, you think I am mad?" I said, "Well, the way you are behaving, anyone will think that you are mentally disbalanced and have escaped from an asylum." "No, Guruji, this is not true. Please listen to what I have to say." "How can I, when you don't tell me anything?" "Well, Guruji, the thing is that—" "Guruji, please, don't be offended. I want to tell you something." It had become too much, but I controlled myself and said, "Speak up. Don't hesitate." "Guruji, I just hope you won't feel offended." "Come on now. Why shall I feel offended? If you abuse me, I shall at the most slap you, but I shall not be offended. I shall just slap you, that's all. You may be young, but I am in every way stronger than you." "Guruji, that does not matter." "Okay, let me tell you everything. You have already wasted 15 minutes. I said with mock anger. "Have you ever loved anyone, Guruji? Anyone? Anytime?" I said, "You are the first disciple who is asking such a question. Nevertheless, let me tell you, I have loved my Gurus and all the gods." "This is not what I am talking about, Guruji," he said. "I am asking you something quite different. You are not able to get what I am saying." Again he took out the photo. I got a hint what he was talking about. Still I said, "What do you want to tell me?" He said, "Please tell me clearly, Guruji. Don't hesitate or feel shy. I won't tell anybody. Your secret shall remain safe with me. Have you ever loved anyone?" "Why should I tell you?" I said to him, "I am not bound to tell anything to you. Life is so long, I may or may not have loved someone. But why do you ask?" "Guruji, I am asking you because only a lover can realize the plight of another. You can't understand, Guruji. You don't know what love is, and you can't know. I said to him, forget about me. Tell me how deep is your pain. I may have experienced only slight pain in my life, and God knows how big your pain is. I am not even sure if I can reach the depth of your pain. No, Guruji, he said, first reply to my question so that I can present my problem before you. Well, if you insist, I have never loved anyone the way you have. If I had, my disciples would have sent me to prison. I have never done any such thing. Now tell me what you want to say. Guruji, I am in love with someone. I said, well, this is nothing new. All Indians have only one motive in life, to love. And when they fail in love, they come to their gurus, which is the second stage. You have just entered this second stage.